Let me just ask a couple of questions to you, Governor. We just heard Commissioner McKee talk about the withdrawal of 77 energy leases in Utah. These were leases that had already been studied and auctioned off by the BLM. Gone through years of study and preparation and all the other things that go along with it. Already, to the Commissioner, that simple action killed about 3,000 jobs. So here we have a government action that destroyed the livelihoods of 3,000 workers who can no longer care for their spouses and their children. Now that's the individual impact, but doesn't every energy job on federal lands generate a large stream of revenue to our state and also federal budgets?
Well, the answer is yes, Senator. Clearly out in the basin in particular, where Commissioner McKee resides in Vernal, you know, as he mentioned, 50% of all their economics out there comes from work doing with energy development. When they go out and drill a natural gas well, it's about $1 million to $1.5 million per well. It employs a lot of people, and that ripple effect that happens out in the Uinta Basin throughout our state is significant. So the loss of 77 oil and gas drilling permits is significant. It would be in the millions and millions of dollars as far as loss of economic opportunity. That being the case, I know in talking with members of industry, the issue for most of us is not just confined to the loss of the 77 oil and gas leasing permits, but the process itself. I've had the discussion with Secretary Salazar and have said, you know, the thing that I would like to focus on is fixing the RMP process, the Resource Management Plan. It is unconscionable that we'd go through a process that in this case, out in the Uinta Basin, took nearly 8 years. Right. 8 years of getting public input from all stakeholders, saying this area should be set aside for no drilling, no development. This site should be set aside or modified for some, and this is okay. And going through that long deliberative process with input from people on all sides of the issue, and then at the end making a decision, we thought, and then having it kind of the rug jerked out from underneath everybody after 8 years of effort. When I talk about if we don't get the RMP process fixed, it's driving capital to other states, and that has a significant impact on our loss of economic opportunity when capital and industry says, you know, I can't go through a 6 or 8 year process, spend millions of dollars, and then end up having no opportunity. In fact, having a permit that's been taken away from me. So the loss is significant, but the focus that we're trying to take is not on necessarily the 77 oil and gas leases, but fixing the process that has no predictability to it, no certainty, and the fact that it allows people to get permits and then having them taken away after 8 years of effort.
Well, I think you described it very well. You know, in a recent survey of the energy industry in the Rocky Mountains, 73% of the industry respondents reported that they have shifted investments from federal to private lands, with over $708 million redirected in 2010. You know, by moving to private lands, sometimes outside of the Rockies, as you've well pointed out, that takes away from the state and county revenues that would normally have come from energy on federal lands. And naturally, you and I both express the same concerns about that. But I really appreciate your testimony, appreciate you being here, and I appreciate my colleagues allowing me to go ahead since I have to leave as well. But we're grateful to you, Governor, and we're grateful for the great leadership you're providing in Utah. It's making a real difference and setting a great example for everybody else as well. And nobody understands state and local and county governments any better than you do, and I just want to personally thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.